Morning, guys. It's Thursday. It's January 22nd. I just wanted to send out, a word of encouragement this morning for those of us who might be struggling, or who may not be struggling, as is the case in some situations, with God's will for our lives, and particularly His will for our individual lives. We know what God's, will is ultimately for all believers, as far as what He wants to see from us as a follower of Christ, in a general sense. The Bible outlines that pretty well. But when it comes to our individual walks, sometimes it's a little less clear, especially when we're in the midst of it. So I just wanted to give a word of encouragement this morning, to those of us who may be in the midst of God making His will for our lives very, very clear and present. And regardless of where you find yourself, whether it's a transition that you're hoping for and been hoping for, and God is answering that and is calling you to someplace that you want to be, or whether it's something that's a little bit less clear and you're having a hard time understanding, and may even be resisting a little bit. There are plenty of books in the Bible where it talks about God's will and the different aspects of what it takes to try to get ourselves in line and ultimately submitting with God's will. It talks about it in the book of Numbers. Same thing with Matthew and Acts. They both talk about different aspects of God's will. Even going to the point of praying for God's will in our children and how we can help facilitate that. Second Chronicles also talks about it, and there's also the importance of, I think Second Solomon touches at one point on the importance of waiting on God's will, not trying to force things to happen, but letting the Lord's timing, to His plan for us individually really be something that we strive to be in check with and be patient for. So in the midst of all that, because it is such an unclear thing sometimes, when we're in the midst of seeing God working in our life and in getting us in line and bringing us in the scope, so to speak, of His will for us and where He's leading us. I just, without getting too deeply into it, I just wanted to be encouraging to us. It's at oftentimes, a difficult transition. Sometimes, and quite often, probably more often than not, it doesn't line up with what we want for our lives, or it doesn't necessarily, the way that God is going about doing it, it doesn't necessarily jive with what we're looking for in our lives. And at the to the same extent, some people it's exactly what they're looking for. And God may be bringing them through, in line with where they're at, and it may be an easier transition for them. But either way, there are difficulties and things that are challenging when we are really kind of coming into scope with getting in line with God's will for us when that time comes. But I just wanted to encourage us to be steadfast in our faith, that the Lord knows exactly what He's doing, because He does, whether or not we think so in times of stress or inconvenient circumstance or whatever. God knows exactly what He's doing. And not only that, but His reasoning for bringing us down that path or through those circumstances are for our growth, for us to see Him more clearly, and ultimately for us to recognize what it is that He's doing, and to give glory to Him in that, not just for us personally, but in the view of others, as we're going through these transitions. And it's not a bad thing, as hard as it can be to go through sometimes. I've talked about in a lot of the videos, the necessity for humility and being humble, and I'm a firm believer in that. Every day more and more as you know, my personal walk advances. You know, being humble is vital in order to not just properly serving God and those that He places in front of us to serve, but ultimately to allow ourselves to submit to Him and His will for us. Being humble is vital. But I just wanted to encourage us to continue to have faith, even more so today than we did yesterday, and even more so tomorrow than we do today, in all that God is doing, and to strive to, you know, seek Him out and to build that trust that we have in Him and all that He does, regardless of whether or not we're happy about it, whether or not it's comfortable for us, you know, all of those things taken into consideration. So that's it. You know, God's will is perfect. He knows exactly what He's doing, and He brings us, you know, to where He wants us to be, and He knows that we need to be, whether it be directly or in a roundabout kind of way, for, you know, a multitude of reasons. Needed growth, needed refinement, but ultimately it's for us to be in a place to better serve Him and to do the work that He's placed us here to do. But even more so, it's to bring glory to Him in all that we're fortunate to be a part of, when doing, you know, whatever tasks He sets before us while we're here. So that's it, guys. You know, I'm dealing with these things myself, and you know, I just, you know, remain in prayer as much as possible, and I encourage, you know, for those of us who, you know, who may need to or are struggling to find a way to deal with things, if this is, you know, something that's going on in your life, you know, being in prayer is vital. It's very important. So you know, as I said before, I'm in prayer for those of you who watch, even though I may not know who you are or I may not know your situation. I do pray for you guys, and you know, I hope that, you know, the things that I place out there, you know, as I said before, are serving to you guys, and because I'm not looking for anything out of it. You know, God lays these things on my heart, and He's brought this, you know, this way of reaching out and reaching people to me as an option that works with where He has me right now. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to do so, and I'm fortunate to be able to be in a position where I can do it from time to time. And I thank Him for that every day, because, you know, it's different seasons in life see us doing different things and different work that He has for us. And right now, this is where He has me. So, but thanks again, guys. You know, as I said, I continually be in prayer, and I encourage you, you know, to do the same, whether it be for yourself or for people that you know that may be going through this and experiencing this, and just, you know, help them to stay strong and to remain focused on God through all of it, and not to allow frustration or any of that stuff to creep in. So I hope you guys have a great remaining part of your week. For those of you who are in the northern part of the country, stay warm. It's cold right now here in northeast PA, although it's warmer than it has been the past few days. But thanks again, guys. Have a great day. Bye.